my story is about my life and my weight gain and how I got to be at the health that I'm at now. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Angie Lee, and I'm going to tell you my story. Now that I've got my coffee, go get yourself some coffee or water or something. We're gonna be here a while. So, my story is about my life and my weight gain and how I got to be at the health that I'm at now. And there will be some pictures posted as I'm talking that'll show you a bit of my, as I grew up and a little bit of my yo-yo dieting. When I was really young, beautiful, skinny. This was before puberty. When puberty hit, I started feeling like I was fat, even though I don't think I really was. Weight was a huge thing in my family. A lot of my family was overweight. A lot of my relatives were very overweight. My dad had been overweight as a child and he had lost it, and aunts and uncles were all overweight. There was very, very few slim people. My brother was an overweight kid. He always had weight issues. So weight was always a big thing in our house, and it was always, be careful with what you eat, be careful with, don't eat too much sugar, don't eat too much ice cream, don't eat too much of this, don't eat too much of that. Which is great. That's really good. My mom really tried to teach us healthy habits. But on the other hand, once a month, each of us would get to choose something that we would do for, you know, what we wanted to do for dinner that night. And my dad often was the one that chose. We picked out of a hat, and there was something that we would end up doing that our name would end up being removed from the hat. And of course, my brothers and mine often got removed because we were kids. So my dad usually was the one to choose supper, and he always wanted donuts. So, you know, donuts once a month for supper. A supper of donuts, you're eating a lot of donuts. That's a lot of calories. Like, wow. I don't eat like that anymore, thank God. I haven't in a lot of years, but it's done its damage, right? Like, you can't always just eat what you want and expect that it's always gonna be, you're always gonna be skinny and slim and perfect. It doesn't work that way. We also had movie night every Friday night. So every Friday night we would watch movies and order in pizza. So pizza, high calorie. I didn't monitor my intake of food at all growing up. So I would eat 5-6 pieces of pizza, because if I didn't, by the next day, it would all be gone. When I wanted pizza, it would be all gone, because my dad and my brother would eat it all. So I would try to hoard it, I guess. And that's not good habits to get into. My dad also worked delivering Coca-Cola. So we drank a lot of pop, and I gotta tell you, it's an addiction. Pop is an addiction. I'm still addicted to pop. I've dealt with a lot of addictions over the years. I was addicted to drugs. I got out of that, and I was a really heavy alcoholic. I got out of that. I've been sober for 4 years now. Yay! So I don't drink anymore, but I do still drink a lot of pop, a lot of caffeine, and that's not good. You know, I've been watching a lot of Papa Swolio from Swolenormous and Alan from Everyday Damn Fitness, or Every Damn Day Fitness. I always get those mixed up. I'm not sure which one it is. Anyway, I'll put their link or whatever in the description. I've been watching a lot of them lately, and they talk about how, often they talk about how at our size, there's gonna come a point where, you know, what happens if we become immobile. And that happened to me. Last year, I fell. It was not a spot where I should have fallen, but because of my weight, I did. And because of my weight, I severely broke my ankle. I'll put some pictures in. I ended up in a wheelchair for 4 months, which really, really held me back. At that point, I was 300 pounds. In the last year, I've been doing a lot to try to, you know, my goal is not weight loss. My goal is to get healthier and to get stronger. In the process of doing that, I will end up losing weight. I know a lot of the reason of why I got overweight in the first place. When I was young, around 7, I started getting abused. And they say a lot of the time that you end up gaining a lot of weight to try to protect yourself from that abuse. But it went on until I was 15. And that's when I really started, you know, gaining a lot of weight. When I was 15 is when I got into the drugs and alcohol and moved out of the house and got away from the abuse. But the damage was already done. I was already, geez, at 15, I was already over 200 pounds. I lost some weight. By the time I was 17, I had gotten down to 170. But then, of course, it bounced back up. I've yo-yo dieted my whole life. You know, I got up to 250 when I was pregnant, dropped back down to 200, then got up to 300 and over 300, and I'm back down a little bit again. But I really want to, I don't want to keep living like this, you know, like it's hard. Even before my accident, I was in chronic pain. I had to take painkillers every day, almost, not every day, but almost every day, just to function, just to be able to do the housework. And I do a lot of housework, actually. I take a lot of pride in the fact that I can keep a clean house. And my Fitbit's charging right now, but I did get a Fitbit. I know that they're not completely accurate, but it does help me in the sense of trying to increase my activity levels, trying to move more, trying to walk more. And I really like when I get the little, it gives you little fireworks when you reach your step goal of the day, which right now mine's at 6,000, and most of the time right now I'm getting that. It's very recent that I've been getting that. Keep in mind, I was in a wheelchair for 4 months, and after the wheelchair, I used a walker. I still use the walker when I go out of the house. I can't handle, you know, any time the ground does any kind of like dip or curve or anything like that in the ground. My legs don't go with it very well. When I fell, I broke my ankle severely. I basically severed my foot from my leg at, like, not the skin, but like everything inside was completely severed. And I also did some damage to, and that was on the left side, and then I also did some damage to my right knee. So that really put me out of commission really bad. Before my accident, I had been doing some like a exercise specialist program run at a gym, and I was doing that. So I was going to the gym, you know, 2 to 3 times a week, you know, doing a lot of water aerobics and things like that, and trying to get more healthy. But then my accident really, you know, even in the fact of trying to get more healthy, I really I was really set back with my accident. It really set me back. And you know, it's funny because they talk about the accident that you could have, and people are like, oh yeah, that's not gonna happen. But what if it does? You know, there's people that are heavier than I am, and they're just lucky that they haven't fallen. You know, like, and it was embarrassing when I fell because I'm a heavy girl, and I had to say that when I was on the phone with 911. I had to say that they needed to be prepared for a heavy girl. And the ambulance got there, and the ambulance had to call the fire trucks to come in with a lift. And it's a big, like a big rubber thing that they put, they kind of get you to kind of jimmy under, they kind of jimmy it underneath you. And then it takes 5 or 6 men to lift you, to get you onto the bed, to get you up into the ambulance. Like, it's embarrassing. Like, there's so many things that are embarrassing about being this weight, and there is no excuse for getting to this size other than laziness and non-understanding is a big part of it too. I'd have to say it because that was 4 years ago now. I did lose some weight, but not a lot. I was practically killing myself exercising. Like, I was working out 2-3 hours a day, and I was getting in so much pain, and like I could barely function by the time I was done because I was just killing myself, exercising and exercising and exercising. But I didn't really change my diet, and the diet's a huge part of it, and you can't really you know, so many overweight people talk about binging. I don't binge. That's not my issue. I used to. I can't say that I didn't. I used to. I used to snack in the evening out of boredom. snack all day, all evening long, and on junk food, really. Um, where was I going with this? But what I eat is not the best quality food, you know? I give in to my cravings more than I should. I spent a lot of my life, though, just struggling to want to stay alive. I was very suicidal for a very long time. And that had nothing to do with the weight. I had to deal with those issues and get myself better in my heart and in my head before I could even start to focus on my health. Because there was no way that I could do my health and my mental health at the same time. It was a constant vicious cycle of falling down backwards, and I didn't want to keep doing that, you know. I really didn't want to keep doing that. So I focused on my mental health. I went to Alcoholics Anonymous, quit drinking, got on antidepressants, started counseling. I listened. I did everything they told me to do, counselors. I went to I went to a lot of programs for like happiness basics and anxiety to calm, and really learned how to calm my anxieties and calm myself, zen myself, basically. I learned how to do that, and now I'm not so suicidal. It's been a long time since I've had a suicidal ideation. So now I can focus on my health more, and I'm very happy with that. And I want to share my journey. I'm a little bit scared because I see a lot of negativity out there. I don't want a whole bunch of people reacting negatively to me. But then there's also the other side of the spectrum of fat acceptance and body positivity and all that stuff, and I gotta be honest, I don't agree, really. Like, I do agree that you shouldn't be shamed. People shouldn't be shaming you for your size and for what you do. They don't know. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know how hard you've worked. You know, some people's metabolisms are very, very slow. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease, which is an autoimmune disease, and one of the things that it attacks is your thyroid. So they figured that I had it for about 10 years before I was actually diagnosed with it. So that that probably didn't help either, you know. So there's so many things that are involved in weight gain and trying to lose weight that you really can't judge anybody. Especially if you don't really know them personally, you know. You really can't judge. You know, life is hard. Life is really hard. So we gotta support each other. We gotta be in it together and support each other through it, because really that's all. It's hard enough without bashing on each other, don't you think? But I'm trying to get healthier, and in getting healthier, I'm trying to eat healthier. Part of that plan is to grow an indoor garden, which isn't going very well. But here's a clip of it I'll insert. So yeah, I've been having trouble trying to get my seeds to grow, but some of them are doing okay, I guess. Here's to hoping, because food is so damn expensive, and it would just be so nice to be able to grab fresh fruit and vegetables as it's growing off your plant. You've always got a salad ready, right? That's my plan. I'll keep you updated on that, on how the growth is going. So far it's really slow, but it is an indoor garden. I live in Canada, Alberta. Not the best weather. This summer's been really horrible. But thank you for joining me. That's basically the gist of my story and how I got to be where I'm at. I hope to continue losing. I've got to weigh myself again, but it's been about 30 pounds, 35 pounds since I've got back to walking again. So in the past 6 months or so. So I hope to keep that up. I hope to keep going. I hope to keep eating healthier and healthier. Have a good one. Thanks for joining me. And until next time, see you later. Bye.